for another episode of Paper Route. I'm Corey Holmes, and I'm feeling good today. And as you can see, I got my Jimmy Butler jersey on. So it's nothing but good energy, nothing but good vibes in the studio today.
Yes.
And hey, the Knicks won too, so we getting good energy from Ashley today. So how we feeling today, good people? Brandon Marshall, Ashley, Nicole.
I feel fantastic.
Y'all didn't beat nobody. Why you feel fantastic? Yesterday you looking at me like I'm crazy when we talking basketball.
Where are the Nets?
Huh?
Uh-oh.
Where are the Nets?
We made it. I'm proud of the Nets.
Wait a second.
What is it called?
Hold on a second. Brandon has hold on. Brandon has two teams, right?
No, I don't.
The Brooklyn Nets, and also he's a Spider Mitchell fan, so he's a Cavs fan, so he says. How are both his teams eliminated?
First off, I keep
Which
telling
is
you this.
crazy.
Stop trying to force the Cavs on me. Stop trying to
You're
force the
the
Cavs
one-
on me.
Corey.
I said I like Spider.
And you said, Corey, did he not say
What do you say?
that the Cavs were his team?
No.
He had. It's like
He said
here
he
and
likes
there.
Spider, and
It's here
he's
and
giving
there.
it like the LeBron
What did I
treatment,
say
where LeBron
yesterday?
goes, I go. Where Spider goes, I go. That's what you
Yeah, oh,
said.
you know what?
I'm rooting for the
that might be what I
Cavs
heard.
because of Spider, but
That might
I'm
be
not
what I
a
heard.
Cavs fan.
Okay.
That might
It's
be
like
what I heard.
we keep talking about this. What else did I say yesterday, though? You laughed at me. It wasn't like you didn't disagree with me, Ashley. You were just like looking at me like I was wild when I was like, yo, Jimmy Buckets. There's sometimes athletes have moments, right? And they ride the wave. He rode the wave last night.
Yo, throw up that first tweet. Let's throw up that first tweet while he's saying that. While he's saying that, just throw that up because Jimmy Butler made history last night. Go ahead. No, but go ahead. Go ahead and continue on with what you were saying.
Okay, so yesterday on this show, Paper Route. Welcome back, everybody. We love you. Corey asked us about Jimmy Buckets. I think the
question was
the over?
it was 35 points. I said factor full is Jimmy Butler scores more than 35 points tonight against the Bucks.
And I took the over.
Yeah.
I took the under.
And you took the under.
But the game did go into overtime.
It doesn't matter.
But I think he had it before overtime even happened, though, I believe.
Right,
Well,
he
we
got
got
off
the
to-
video. We got the video of it from yesterday too. You want to watch the video first?
Let's go.
Let's watch the video.
Wait, the video of what?
It's gonna be
So
of him
35
predicting.
points.
Look.
So 35 divided by 4 equals 8.5 points a quarter. He exploded in the fourth last game for 20-something points in a fourth. So he's capable of having a big quarter. 8 points a quarter. What is that? 4 buckets. And his name is Jimmy Buckets. I'm taking the over on a 35. This is a fact.
How you do that? How was you doing that? Why were you doing that when I was talking?
Because it
What
was
going
like,
through your mind?
first of all, I don't even know if that math was right.
It is.
That was real math, or you're just throwing numbers out there?
Let's take out the calculator right now.
But
But y'all clipped the part where I talked about him going for 40 too. I actually came back around.
I was actually surprised he scored that many points. I was actually also expecting a more complete game from the rest of the team. Maybe he didn't have to do as much. But I mean, Bam had a good game, triple-double from him. He fouled out, though, before overtime on a suspect foul call. But I think that, I was actually surprised, Jimmy dropping a crazy stat line just the night and a half before. I wasn't expecting that kind of performance from him. But listen, when that ball went up, when that little went up on his back to send it into overtime, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
The Heat are going to pull this out. I did say though that Miami was going to either win it in 6 at home. I was thinking the Bucks were going to pull it off. I thought they were going to pull one off at home. I did think that they were going to win last night. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I think they would lose, but I think they're going to win. Miami got it done. I'm excited they got it done. I wanted this matchup. I've been praying for this matchup. The 90s are alive and well.
Yes.
It is going to be one hell of a series.
You think there's a lot to this conversation? First thing, do you think there was a memo sent out to the referees, the general managers, the coaches? It's like, look, guys,
the script.
We're gonna be loose this playoffs because, like you said, the 90s are back. I feel like you're referring to like the physicality of the game.
No, I meant I meant particularly this matchup. But in terms of the physicality, I mean, the officiating this series, I mean, not this series, just the playoffs in general has been a little bit up and down for me. Like, I'm a firm believer if you're going to let the guys play, then let them play.
Right.
But it seems that it's like they pick and choose when they let them play, which kind of waters down that whole 90s mentality thing, because in the 90s you could punch somebody in the face, basically. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying if you're going to go ahead and allow physicality in these games, allow it in all 4 quarters. Don't pick and choose when you can be physical and when you can't. And I feel like the refs are guilty of that in a bunch of the series in the league, going on right now. So I wouldn't say it's that, but I think the 90s are back in terms of Knicks Heat. This rivalry is going to be insane again. The Garden's going to be nuts. Down here, Miami's going to be nuts. There might be some fights in the stands. It's going to be lit.
First off, it's not the 90s, okay? But it will be, because on the Knicks side, I think you guys have a really good team. But I love Randall. I don't know if he's going to even be available. He'll be back. Okay, but like, there isn't. Who's the Patrick Ewing? Who is the Oakley?
Obviously, it's not the 90s. But I'm saying
she's trying to hype it up.
But I'm saying in terms of like that feeling, like this is a true rivalry between two teams, two franchises that have historically hated each other. Now, the hate's been diluted a little bit. It's like I said, it's not the 90s. You know, when my dad was watching this matchup, they were punching each other in the face. They were jumping into the crowds. Jeff Van Gundy was involved. Pat Riley was. It was different. We're not gonna have that, but I think it's very nostalgic and cool that we're back here. It's gonna be fun.
I was thinking about this driving in. I knew we were gonna have this conversation and probably spend way too much time on the Knicks. All right,
we don't have to. We won our series. We're chilling. We'll see y'all Sunday.
I was like, man, it's going to be a hostile environment. Absolutely. You know the Garden to be hostile and pretty cool, and a dope experience as a fan, as a player, as anybody. Even watching is pretty cool, seeing the Spike Lees of the world and all the stars sitting courtside. But the Heat, and actually, you've probably been to more Heat games than I have. It's a pretty cool environment.
It gets loud.
It gets loud. It gets rowdy. It's like a different. Can you explain what type of fan base they have, or like?
I was there last season when the Heat forced Boston to a Game 7, and it was Game 7 in Miami. Obviously, Miami ended up losing that. But that game came down to the wire.
It did.
And it was loud there. Like Miami gets a bad rep. Like, and that's why.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
With other fan bases.
They're fickle. They're still fickle.
No. Like Miami, what I'm saying is Miami gets a bad rep in terms of like they're always clowning like, you know, the attendance and things like that, because on TV, people have to understand this, and this is what I say to this. I say this a lot about the Miami Heat and their fans. You know, I have no smoke for I'm like a weird Knicks fan. I have no smoke for the Miami Heat. Obviously, I live here, but also when I was on Miami Sports Radio, that was one of the first teams that I covered, like had access to doing pressers and things like that. So I always have a soft spot for Miami. But people don't understand this. The first quarter in Miami is like the start of the game. So when the stands are empty, people are still trying to get there.
Right.
Traffic is nuts. It's not like, you know, Madison Square Garden where you can take the train in or you can walk in. There's one way in and one way out. So the real game doesn't start until second quarter. That's when it starts to percolate. But during the playoffs, it gets hostile. But it gets loud. It gets cool.
Do you have them as a top 10 experience in the NBA? And I know I'm using the wrong words here, but as far as like all the arenas, where does the Miami Heat experience rank in the biggest moments? I'm not talking about when they're losing overall. I'm talking about, you know, it's playoff time or it's a big matchup. The Lakers are in town. Where do they match up?
It's hard for me because I've only ever been to Knicks and Heat games, so I can't compare. Yeah, I can't compare it to like.
You never been to the Staples Center?
Never been to the Staples Center.
The Staples is dope.
I've only ever been to the Garden or the AAA, so I can't compare it to
Boston.
Boston.
That's what we got to do, Ashley. That's what we're going to do next season.
Why the hell would I go to TD Garden?
That's a nice atmosphere.
I would never go to TD Garden.
Never?
You know what we're going to do?
Boston?
Why never,
how many stadiums have you been to? How many football stadiums have you been
to? 3.
Oh, we're going road tripping, Corey.
Yeah. I've only been to 3.
I'm getting a tour bus. The team has been fighting me for a year now not to get a tour bus for budget
like
purposes.
an RV.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be a tour bus.
Oh.
There's a difference between an RV and tour bus. We're talking about a tour bus, like what you see like Lil Wayne on.
Oh, got it.
Right, we're gonna get a OTG on the go tour bus.
Who's driving?
My cousin Sarah. Why you right? He having CDLs.
Oh, okay.
All right, and we're going to go road tripping this football season. We're going to go check out New Orleans. You got to experience them. The 12s. We'll hit New York. I'm going to force you to go to MetLife. We'll obviously hit the Cowboys Stadium. What is that stadium called? AT&T?
Mm-hmm. Jerry's World.
Jerry's World. We'll hit there. Atlanta. I haven't been to Atlanta. I spoke there a couple weeks ago. We'll do that. And then we'll come back around during basketball season and we'll go to some arenas. That would be cool.
I think
that would be cool. Everybody have their own bunk. Would you go, Corey?
Oh, absolutely, we go.
All right, I think we do that. All right, really quick before we move on, I wanted to hit a few things on this topic about Jimmy Butler, right? Like, athletes have to understand, Ashley, when there's moments, right? Like, I think about Justin Jefferson last year going after that all-time receiving yards record. Mm-hmm. Can he break 2,000? I think about Derrick Henry breaking, the 2,000-yard mark in a season. There's only been 6 or 7 guys to ever do that. To me, it's the greatest feat in all of sports for a running back to go over 2,000 yards rushing, obviously on the ground. Mm-hmm. You get into this like zone and this flow, and it's hard to explain, but you just got to stay right there. You talk about flow, you talk about being in the zone. Some athletes mess it up where they bring their head up too quick, right? Like, oh, I'm in this moment, I feel really good, and then it's like they start hanging from the rafters. And I was trying to explain that yesterday, right, where there's a couple of guys that I'm paying attention to see if they can stay right there in that pocket. And Jimmy did that. It's pretty special, and it's going to be cool to see him in the next round to see if he can carry that with him. It's going to be tough because you saw on the other end LeBron, right? And it could be age, but LeBron was having a moment, right? Mm-hmm. 20 and 20. They weren't expected to beat the Grizzlies. Definitely would have been, everybody thought it would be competitive, but then he goes out there and he flops pretty much, right? He plays like crap, and a lot of people are saying it's because of his age. Jimmy, man, something special about this kid. Like, I don't know what it is. Is it just like his grit? Is it his competitive, his fiery nature? Is it like where he comes from? But there's something about this dude where it's like I don't even think you'll put him in the top 10 in the NBA. Would you put him in the top 10 of NBA players, like active players? I don't think he makes that. I don't even think he makes 15.
Oh, definitely makes
15.
You think so?
That's a big number.
Think about it, though. Think about it. Let's go. Can we pull up a list? Woo, can you pull up a list of like the top 15 NBA active?
You wouldn't put Jimmy Butler in the top 15?
I mean, I would. Let me tell you why. Because there's some people that you want to put into your foxhole. Foxhole is like, one way in, one way out type deal, or someone who got your front, who got your back.
Throw up a
it's
tweet
just
with
us.
the stats.
Huh?
Oh no! I wanted to tell our directors, just throw up the tweets with the stats from the series from this past series with Jimmy Butler's stats. Yeah, like look at that.
Unbelievable. We seen this circulating throughout the internet.
He averaged 37 points in the series against the number 1 seeded Bucks.
Wow.
I mean, to your point, like he's having a moment right now. Playoff Jimmy is a different type of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Playoff Jimmy, you put in that top 5, in my opinion.
So is that a thing now?
No, playoff Jimmy's always been a thing. He's just there are just some guys who, not coast, but have a little bit more of an up and down during the regular season. And Jimmy's one of those guys because, sometimes, he's dealing with injury or, sometimes he's not as effective as you would want him to be in certain games. But then there are guys who can flip that switch when it means the most. And Jimmy just seems to be that guy. He can show up in the biggest moments when it seems like your back's against the wall and, there's no other, some guys shrink in the big moments and Jimmy doesn't shrink. He just rises to the occasion. And that's just his pedigree.
Right. Yeah. All right. I think, Woo, you have you have a list?
2023 season has Jimmy at 19.
That's egregious.
19. Can I see it? Can I see the list?
Yeah, so we can see who else is on there. I want to see who's in front
Let's
of him.
introduce Woo to the show.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
We need to get a camera set up right here and a mic for you.
Miami's finest.
All right, so Ashley, you have them in the top 15. CBS, CBSSports.com. I have him at 19. So Ashley, you have to take somebody out, or you have to take a few people out and place Jimmy in. All right, is that okay? Mm-hmm. You ready? Also, shout out to Ashley. She's leaving us here in what, 30 minutes? You're going on another trip. You're leaving us.
I gotta go to one of my favorite cities in America. Joking.
Jersey?
No, Philly for the Iverson Classic. It's gonna be cool. Fun fact, I've never been to Philly.
Really?
Never.
Why would I go to Philly?
Let's
be honest.
Are we going to get content?
Why would I go to Philly? I'm going to work my very hardest to secure an Allen Iverson interview for Paper Route.
You can't come back without an AI quote.
Got it.
Just one.
A quote on what?
Anything, like two.
Joel Embiid.
Doesn't matter.
Jimmy,
you got to come up. All right, here we go, Ashley. You have your MVP, Joker.
He's number one. Jokic is number one?
He's number one.
Wow.
You have Giannis number 2. Luka.
First of all, this list is done for me. You can't have Jokic number
but it's still
one.
all right. It doesn't matter. They're still in the top 15.
Okay.
You have Jason Tatum at 4, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant at 6, Steph Curry at 7. Oh my goodness, what's this guy's name?
Who wrote this?
Shai
Who
Alexander?
made this? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shai.
He was
Dame
consistent
Lillard,
this year.
9, Ja Morant 10, LeBron James 11, Donovan Mitchell 12, Jaylen Brown 13, Sabonis 14,
Nah.
Kawhi Leonard 15. 16 you have Tyrese Haliburton. How you say his name?
Nah, they got him over Jimmy?
Yep. Anthony Davis 17. How you say that kid's name? Halliburton.
Halliburton. Yeah, he's good.
Pascal Siakam. And then Jimmy Butler at 19.
Wow.
So who are you taking out? James Harden at 20, Bam at 21, Kyrie Irving 22. First off, Tyrese 15 in top 15. Paul George is
Kyrie that low is actually wild.
Paul George at 23.
What list is this?
Zion Williamson at 24. Devin Booker. Oh hell no. Devin Booker at 25.
I forgot we missed that name. They hadn't said
DeAndre Fox 26. Golly, there's some hoopers in the NBA.
Yeah.
So where's our guy? Before you respond to this list and knock this list,
I'm dumbfounded by this list. I don't even know how to process this list. I have so many emotions about this list. I have so many questions. What year is this from?
Yeah, right.
Is that 2022? 2022-23 season, Ashley.
Yeah, they need to reevaluate that one.
I don't care if this was before season, preseason, before Christ, after Christ. This doesn't make any sense.
What would you do differently?
There's so much, Brandon. We would need a whole show for me to dissect this.
Give us 2 quick
First of all, Jokic is not the number 1 player in the league.
Who is?
I mean, it depends on who you ask.
We're asking you.
It's LeBron. It's between probably LeBron, KD, or Giannis. Depends on who you ask. Those 3 have to be in the number 1 spot. One of them have to be in your number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Well, to have Jokic as the number 1, yes, I get it. Back-to-back MVP, reigning MVP, that's insane. Yeah. Sorry. You don't have Steph Curry in your top 5 fresh off of a freaking championship appearance and finals MVP. Come take your laptop. This is pissing me off.
Oh, my goodness. All right, well, hey, real quick before we move on to the Knicks. I mean, of course, this is related to the Knicks because they're going to be facing the Heat in the next round. What should the Miami Heat be worried about the most with the Knicks? What should they be game planning on?
Let me answer this first because you're –
Go ahead.
The environment, that's it. I think momentum, the energy around this team, the energy around this fan base. I don't know. It's unmatched right now. You look across the NBA, there's amazing games, there's amazing storylines, but the Knicks feel like they're in a nice little pocket. Mm-hmm. Everything's working well together. I'm not afraid of anybody on the court. I'm not afraid of their coach, and I love their coach, a lot of experience. But I just think it's the environment. I think it's the mojo. I think it's the momentum. That's my answer, Ashley.
I don't think the Knicks are going to be worried about the Miami Heat environment. I mean, they play in the Garden.
No.
The
Miami Heat.
Yeah, other way around.
Yeah, I mean, the Garden can be very hostile territory. I mean, you saw what it did to Donovan Mitchell, and he's from the area. So, yeah, it's good. And remember, the Knicks aren't even at full strength. Julius Randle was dealing with an ankle injury. Not only was he dealing with the ankle injury, but, Evan Mobley had his number all series. He couldn't even really cook like he normally cooks just because he could not get over that 7-foot tower right there. You still have Quentin Grimes. You're waiting to get back into the rotation. I think that the Miami Heat should be worried about the depth of the New York Knicks. They are coming in at a deficit. Tyler Hero broke his hand. Kevin Love, sometimes you don't know what version of Kevin Love you get. Kyle Lowry, someone who also tends to be injury prone at the wrong time. Victor Oladipo, he's going into surgery any day now. I mean, they're a little bit short staffed.
Yeah.
They're not full strength. The Knicks are coming in at a.
So who has the edge?
The Knicks do, for sure.
I mean, but the Heat had a phenomenal
They did.
series
They
as
did.
well,
I'm not taking that, but the Knicks are, I feel like right now, a deeper, more complete team.
Right.
And that's something that's hard to compete against when you don't have the pieces.
Right.
And they right now, for a multitude of reasons, they don't have those pieces. So it's going to be just highly important for them with the pieces they do have for them to be the most productive. Bam can't go missing.
Right.
Because he can't get into foul trouble. I mean, you just don't have the depth to compete with the Knicks if something goes wrong.
Fat Joe was on First Take, I believe, and he said that the Knicks will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I love Joey.
Was that a stretch? A bit of a stretch?
I'm not gonna say it's a stretch if the Knicks continue playing listen, the number one Bucks are out of the equation.
Right. So
Philly and Boston, one of them got to go. I mean, it's not that far fetched. It's not like the path there is filled with all of these obstacles and it's extremely difficult. A lot of those top seeds are going to be out of the way soon. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not jinxing it, but I'm not saying it can't happen.
Right. What's your answer to your own question, Corey?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked me. I'm so glad you asked me.
I mean, he's going to say Miami. I'm going to say New York.
Because look, the Heat fan in me wants to say absolutely nothing, right? But if we're talking about X's and O's and whatnot, I think what the Heat should be worried about is Jalen Brunson, right? I personally think he's the only real scoring option the Knicks have, if we being honest.
Did you not see Josh Hart light them up?
Josh Hart, how much did he average in this past series?
I want to say 20.
No more than 11 points.
But not only that, but he's on the boards.
Can we get that fact checker?
No more.
Not only that, but he's on. He also, if you want to go ahead and count his offensive rebounds as points, I mean, he's on those boards.
And that's the other key. You said the other key. We just need to limit those extra possessions.
Don't let her push you around.
Oh no, she won't. She
Robinson is right now.
How?
I'm not pushing him around. I'm just saying.
No. So what the Knicks do really well is offensive rebound, and that's not really a statistical category you want to be good in because that means you're missing shots, right? They're gonna have to hit shots against the Miami Heat. I could tell you that, right? So
Corey won. What's that?
Offensive rebounds turn into points.
ESPN where they give people the points.
Not only that.
Corey has two.
But if you go ahead and look at the numbers, though, a lot of our offensive rebounds have turned into second chance points.
Right.
And not only that, but the turnovers are on the other team have a higher percentage of turning those into points on our end.
I think, I think Miami. I think that's not something really hard to address. If they can just box out Mitchell Robinson. If they could box out Mitchell Robinson.
You box out Mitchell Robinson. What are you gonna do about Josh Hart?
That's no problem.
3-2.
I'm not worried.
You're also not counting.
No. But look, you also in order to win a game, you have to score more points than the other team.
But you're also not counting Emmanuel Quickly. You're not counting Jalen Brunson. You're not counting R.J. Barrett. You're not counting. I mean,
listen.
I mean, you're focusing on Jalen Brunson, but okay, Jalen, R.J.
Who are your shooters though?
First one to
Jalen. RJ, Emmanuel Quickly. Let's not forget Julius Randle will be back, and he's not going to have a hard time.
You want me to give you what they're shooting from three?
You want to go ahead and bring up, not to mention, Quentin Grimes is coming. Quentin Grimes is coming back, and you don't want that smoke with Q-Dot.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Corey, listen, you guys are tied 3-3 right now. This is like that show on ESPN. What's the show where the dude gives the...
Around the Horn?
Around the Horn, you get the points, right? So it's 3-3 right now. The first one to 5 wins. Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Is 3 greater than 2?
I mean,
you get a point for that.
Than 2, right?
Corey get a point for that.
What are you saying? 3 greater than 2?
3 greater than 2. We know where basketball is at. We know where basketball is at right now. It's about the 3-point shot. Who are your shooters?
Who are your shooters?
I can tell you who our shooters are.
Okay, go ahead.
Right now, I'm looking at the 3-point percentage of all of the guys that are in the rotation right now. Jalen Brunson, No, my fault. Josh Hart, your boy Josh Hart. He has the highest 3-point percentage. How many is he making? He's only making 2 threes per game.
What does that have to do with the mid-range? What does that have to do with driving it in the lane?
All right,
what does that have to do?
If we want to go with how many points they're averaging per game.
What does that have to do with points over turnovers?
Jalen Brunson's averaging 24 points per game. He's your leading scorer. The next leading scorer is who?
But that's
RJ
because
Barrett?
you just said that.
RJ Barrett?
But I also just said that Julius Randle was shut down by Evan Mobley, who's a 7-footer. Last time I checked, he doesn't get shut down by the Miami Heat.
Julius Randle's ankle's hurt.
Julius Randle will be back for that series.
Is he going to be 100%?
That's a point, Ashley.
I know. I have confirmed this yesterday via the source himself. He will be back.
Oh shoot! That should be 2 points, but I'm gonna give you 4 because I want to keep it going. Inside information.
I just hope he plays smart. I just hope he plays smart basketball, and I hope he's not trying to fill out his ankle.
In
the series.
I just hope that everyone that you have on your payroll shows up because Jimmy can't play 1 versus 5. That's all I'm saying. All our players show up when it matters. I'm just saying.
All I know is Jimmy Butler shooting 45% from 3.
I know is
shooting 42%
this is what we're
from 3.
Do. This is what we're going to do, Corey. Hold on. This is what we're going to do. It's 4-4 right now. It's tied up. I feel like we need to take it to vote. I think everybody is watching the show right now. Please get in the chat.
We got more Heat fans in the chat, though. I'm going to lose.
No, it's not about
We're
that. It's
Miami.
about the art and science of y'all take and y'all debate. Who won this debate? That's what I want to know. Was it Corey or was it Ashley, Nicole, Moss? Please jump in the chat and let us know. I like this segment. We need to keep this going.
Heat in 6.
It was a good one, Humble.
But look, we gotta go on. Move on to the Knicks. We got to talk more about the Knicks.
Corey, that's the first time Corey was getting intense a little bit.
Oh, no, listen.
Is that your angry
My angry? No.
That's your angry
No, it's just my take on sports. You know what I'm saying? When it's asked of me, I deliver.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I look forward to revisiting this on Monday.
Absolutely.
After game 1.
Count for us, Woo.
Right now, it's pretty even.
Is it?
Ask Corey.
Yeah.
What are they saying?
Corey got it. Ashley all the way. Ashley won. I test Corey.
Corey.
Yo, listen, man. They don't want to see Jimmy Butler.
It's very even right now.
It's even right now. Okay, we're gonna have to come. We'll come back. We'll come back in 10 minutes.
That's fair.
We're going to tally up the votes, and we'll let you guys know if Corey won or Ashley won for a grand prize of a Starbucks gift card, $25 Starbucks gift card.
Okay.
That's fair.
What?
That's cute. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? That's
cute.
That's 3 days in a row.
I just said that's cute. I'm not knocking it. I love Starbucks. Y'all see me?
Bougie.
I love Starbucks. I'm not knocking it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. Now, so we're gonna move on actually to the Knicks. We're actually gonna move on to the Knicks. I got a tweet here from the great Stephen A. Smith, the Knicks by Cleveland. This video, I just really wanted to watch this video. Let's play this video right quick.
You cannot lose to Donovan Mitchell. He cannot be the one that sends you home. I gotta get security. I want this man out of my sight right here. Get him out of here. Get rid of him. It's a wrap. New York, stand up. New York, stand up. 100 blue skies, baby.
And the Knicks are hardcore, and I'll tell you like this, we ain't never looked sharper.
Blue skies saying. But now, actually, realistically speaking, what impressed you the most about the Knicks in this series, though?
Their composure.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times in the series, where the game could have gotten away from them, and the Knicks of the past, even last season, probably would have let it. Especially the third quarter. We like to call the third quarter a doom as Knicks fans because it historically is an issue for the Knicks when the third quarter comes around. But they persevered. They went through the trials and tribulations that come with playing a basketball game. It's about runs and possessions. And not every run, not every possession is going to be clean. It's going to get messy. But how do you go ahead and focus on the next? When you get hit, what's your counterpunch? And for a long time, the Knicks didn't have that. And they just look like a more focused, composed team. Everyone knows their roles. It was impressive. They look like a team who had been there before. And they hadn't in 10 years. It's a 10-year curse that's been broken. So I'm very impressed by their composure. Yeah. That's probably number one on my list.
The only thing I'll say to this, Corey, is I hope Julius Randle, I hope he doesn't rush it and come back too early, right? Because, this team could potentially make a run for real, Oh, snap. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. My microphone wasn't here. Mm-hmm. What I was saying is I hope Julius Randle doesn't rush back, right? Like if his team can buy him some time, maybe 1 or 2 games, I think it'd be a really good thing for them because they could potentially go on a run. If you get a Julius Randle back where he was right before playoffs, playing at an extremely high level, feeling good about himself, this could be a dangerous team for the Sixers and whoever else is standing there in the next round. So I'm excited for the Knicks. It'll be great for basketball, and I couldn't imagine that environment. Ashley, if the Knicks end up in the finals, we're going, and we're sitting courtside.
Oh, yeah, I got to bring my dad.
No, I want to go. Dad can't go.
We got to go. We got to get 3.
Pops. I know
we got to get 3. We got to get 3.
We got to get 3.
I could not do that and go home afterwards. We got to get 3.
I respect that, though. Mm-hmm. I respect that. That's great.
Mm-hmm. I always said, ever since I was a little girl and I decided I was going to work into sports, that if I ever got the opportunity to sit courtside at Madison Square Garden, my dad would have to be with me. I don't care if it was me, another person, and my dad, or just me and my dad. And I can't do it. It's got to be me. It's got to be me and Pops.
Ziggy Yukie Marshall, my 8-year-old baby. You're watching this, which you're not. I'm gonna send you this clip. Take notes. Take care of your daddy. Take care of your daddy. Are we ready for the vote? Woo, you want to come in? Come in, Woo. Come on in, Woo. Tell us what's going on.
I'm pretty sure I lost. We're in Miami, so that's all right.
It was pretty even, Ashley. So it was going good, but I think the Miami fans took over.
It's all good.
But I will say the best comment I've read was that Miami's going to win, but Ashley won the debate. So that's the thing. That's the one thing they gave Ashley was the debate.
They're not going to win, but I did win the debate.
It started to become a landslide.
But thank you.
Mm-hmm. So landslide. Towards the end, it was just Corey. Nick.
So Corey won.
Yeah.
Dang.
It was even in the first 2 minutes.
Wow.
Corey, make sure you send everyone their Cash App.
Yeah.
Wow. Corey, can you see yourself sitting across from a Stephen A. Smith or a Skip Bayless, a Shannon Sharp, and taking them on the way you just took on Nicole Moss? You took down Nicole Moss.
I know.
He didn't really take me down.
Accomplished, huh?
Let's be honest.
Well, that's what the people said.
The people
Don't be a sore loser.
The people also voted Donald Trump into office. So, let's be honest. Let's not gauge this on the people. You know what I mean?
Corey, can you see yourself taking on the GOATs?
But yeah. To answer your question, of course. I mean, I think I heard Stephen A. say, "I say what I mean, and I mean what I say." I feel the same way.
Okay. JB, watching, I know you're watching out in LA, one of our producers of this show. Can you create some type of segment where Corey and Ashley debates maybe once a week or maybe bi-weekly? This would be pretty cool.
Brandon just likes being in the middle and being an instigator. Do you ever see that meme where he's like warming up and he's like, Mark, getting ready to instigate?
That's what it sounds like. Well, let me ask the same question that I asked, with the Heat. What should the Knicks be worried about the most about the Miami Heat?
Jimmy Butler.
Like if we're talking about from X and O standpoint. Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
If we're being honest.
Simple as that.
I'll be quick here, too. I think it's Jimmy Butler, but I also think it's the same answer on the other side, and it's that environment. The Heat environment right now is really the fan base is a fickle fan base. That's where I thought you were going earlier. Ashley, but you went in another direction. I interrupted you.
You mean Miami fans or Miami Heat fans are fickle?
Miami fans, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes.
You do this, and the Dolphin fans love you.
The Dolphins, I love the Dolphins.
We get Dolphins fans in the chat all the time saying, "We love you, B. Marsh. Come back. We love."
No. Listen. Hold on. First off, I love a portion of the Miami Dolphins fans.
Oh gosh.
Right? Like the people where we come from, I rock with them. They take care of me. So when I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins, I'm really talking about the organization, starting from the top, ownership to management. That's what I'm talking about. But then there are like the fickle fans that migrated down here, and they only come when the team is winning, or if it's hot, they don't show up, right? Like Miami is it's a melting pot.
I mean, it is hot though.
You know what I'm saying? But like the real true Miami Dolphins fans, they know, and I ride with them. But it feels like there's more of the other than them. That's how I feel about the Dolphins fans. So, anyways, I think it's to answer this question, Corey, the environment, right? Because like if you ever go to a Heat game in the playoffs, even going back when D Wade was here, like it's just a crazy atmosphere. It's like a big party. Fourth quarter, everybody's standing up, freaking just rowdy. It feels like you at Live nightclub sometimes.
Heat Knicks games though in Miami are incredible because there's so many New Yorkers that live here now that you really get a true sense of like the beef. Like you could be sitting next to a Heat fan and like trash talking the entire game. Like I've been to multiple Heat games and I've never quite had an experience at the AAA or whatever it's called now. I'm going to call it the AAA forever. I don't care. I've never quite had the same experience at a Heat game as I do when the Heat and the Knicks are playing each other. It's not the same like with any other. It's cool. It gets loud, but the atmosphere in the crowd, like it's even when like walking into the arena, like everyone's got their jersey on, they're trash talking, in the streets. Right. It's like, it's different. Like it's probably the coolest matchup you could get because you're really going to be able to like absorb the feel of a basketball game and a true rivalry in both cities. Like you're really going to feel it. It's going to be dope.
Yeah,
I love it. All
right, moving on, guys. The Grizzlies, they got it done in Memphis last night against the Lakers. Won that game 116-99. It was pretty convincing. But my question, will this series go to 7? Are the Lakers and Grizzlies going to go to Game 7?
It better not. The Lakers better close this out. Game 6.
Yeah, at home.
What I love about LeBron after the game, and all athletes should take note, right? Like you play bad, own it, lean into it. That's on me. And then if you really think you're him or her, say you're gonna play better next, right? And a lot of people don't have that confidence. And when you lose confidence, it's over. Whether you're an athlete, whether it's just just everyday approach to life. Confidence is key, and LeBron showed that. I played like shit. Next game, I'll play better, and I love that. And for that, I think he's going to come out and have a big game. I don't know what a big game for LeBron is anymore, Ashley. He's obviously still capable of dropping 40, but, who expected him to also grab 20 rebounds, 2 games ago, right? So LeBron can hurt you in so many different ways. I was excited about AD. AD stood up and did his part, so that was refreshing. LeBron, if he does his thing, then they'll win this thing. So I don't think it goes to 7 because LeBron is the man.
Yeah, we'll see how that series turns out. All right, moving on. Golden State, they actually got a road win last night. In Sacramento, they beat the Kings 123-116. I mean, it was a very impressive win, if you ask me. Now, one of the more interesting stats of the game, Draymond Green. That man actually went off 21 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Question, guys, are you more surprised by Golden State winning Game 5 in Sacramento or Draymond Green scoring 21 points?
I'm not going to diss Draymond. Draymond's a champion. He has his moments. Obviously not frequent moments of 21 points, but Draymond knows how to be efficient when he has to be. I think they knew that this was a must-win for them. You didn't want this to go to a Game 7. They're going to close this out in Golden State, or at home in Golden State. At home, it's going to be over for Sacramento. Draymond knew that this was a must-win for them. Yeah. I think he did his part more than did his part, and I'm not going to diss him. He's a champ, like I said. So, yeah. I think the series is over.
Yeah. Hey, just because you give the truth doesn't mean you're gonna diss somebody.
No, I'm not gonna say, I'm surprised by Draymond. Like, it's surprising. It's not what he normally does, but like Draymond knows what Draymond got to do sometimes.
Yeah. Corey, I'm more surprised that Draymond had 21 points. Right, this was a big game, a big moment. I expected, the big time players to stand up and do their thing. For Draymond, when you think about big games, it's how he plays on the defensive side, on that side of the court, rebounding the basketball. Hell, even at times running point guard, right? Distributing the ball and getting everybody in position. So I'm looking at the box score right now. You have Curry, 42 minutes, 31 points. Wiggs, super efficient. He had 20 points. You had Klay Thompson with 25. And then you have Draymond Green, who came off the bench again. The last 2-3 games since the suspension, Has he been on the bench, Ashley, since the suspension? Coming off the bench?
Yeah, did he start?
Like, that's a big deal, and that's scary.
I don't think he started last night.
He didn't start last night. No.
He's been coming off the bench, yeah.
Wow.
Yo, like 21 points?
Yeah.
That's a
It's
big
even more
deal.
impressive. 8 for 10, super efficient.
The bigger conversation here is if Draymond can continue to stay in the zone a little bit. We're not talking about, obviously he's not going to be able to take this many shots every single game and contribute in this way. But if he can be efficient, 8 for 10, how do you stop the Warriors?
You don't.
You don't.
Yeah,
Especially not at home.
This is scary.
Especially not at home. It's over.
Right. So anyways.
But listen, the future is bright in Sacramento. No shade. Sacramento surprised a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought that team was going to be in disarray and not be what they ended up being. The future is bright there. Nothing to hang their heads low about. It's unfortunate about De'Aaron Fox. I mean, he still put on one hell of a performance, though, considering. But yeah, the future's bright in Sacramento. They're gonna be a fun team to watch.
Right.
They're gonna make some noise.
What we got?
I agree.
Actually, you about to leave in a little bit.
I'm gonna leave in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird.
10 minutes?
Like 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. If you get an AI quote, I'll give you another I'll give you a $25 gift card to Starbucks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of matcha.
Yeah. And if you get two, $35.
Ooh.
Got a nice little incentive there. All right, this next one I thought was pretty comical, but at the same time kind of disrespectful. So, there's one game on the slate tonight. We got the Celtics at the Hawks, right? State Farm Arena double booked the Hawks playoff game and a Janet Jackson concert. Like what? So Trae Young quote retweeted this. He was like, "Yo, sorry, not sorry to this legend, but hope she can be at the game." So what I'm getting from that is that the State Farm Arena, the Hawks themselves was not expecting the Hawks to make it this far into the series with the Boston Celtics. Like, honestly, like as a player, Brandon, let's say if you were a player, and I don't know, this happened maybe on a football team. I don't know if it really, translates. But like, are you not rubbed the wrong way if your franchise does this to you?
Listen, no, I understand it. I understand the reality of the situation.
Right.
She launched or announced her tour December 22nd.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. It's been in the books for a while. Like, it's funny, but
so we're like a month and a half into the NBA season. When does the NBA season start? October, right? Yeah. So like nobody knew where they were going to be.
Right.
So this doesn't rub me the wrong way if I'm a player, not at all. Because
it's funny.
Right.
But it's not a conspiracy theory. Right. Like her dates were set in stone way before the Hawks and the Celtics were even thought of.
You saw she brought out Jermaine Dupri though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's cool to see them talking.
Look at all the exes getting back. Nelly and Ashanti.
How you feel about
JD? I mean, couldn't be me, but shoot.
What's name one ex if you can that you like? Nope. Yeah, I can get back with you.
None of them.
None.
Not a single one.
You don't go back. You never turn around.
I do not double. I'm not a spin the block girl. What Gwen Stefani say? I ain't no holla back girl. Once I am done.
I don't believe it.
No, once I'm done, I'm a Capricorn. Once I'm done, I'm done.
That don't mean anything. I'm a Capricorn.
I can literally, like my mom will tell you, when I am done, I can pretend you do not exist.
I can see that part.
I am so indifferent towards you. Once I am done, you are not a non-factor.
What about the one guy that just wasn't ready? Like he didn't make any terrible mistakes. He just wasn't ready and you knew it. Right?
I have an ex that I'm still cool with. Like we're still friends.
All right, so that ex
but I would never date him.
So that ex right there.
But I would never date him again.
And I think I know who you talking about.
Yeah, but I would never date him again. Like,
okay. So that ex right there, he stepped to you proper this time.
No.
Listen, can I take you out on a date?
No.
He can't even take. All right, no date. Hey, let's just catch up. Let's go to lunch.
Okay.
All right, cool. He pulls up to the crib. Car clean. I know you got your own nice car.
Car
got
clean.
all her. Listen, I need y'all to know. Y'all stop sliding in Ashley's DM. She got her own money. She got her own car. She got her own, okay? But it's just a proper situation. He comes. Car is clean.
Okay.
Armor All tires.
Okay.
You jump in. Smell good. Damn, and it's clean. That says a lot. Before you even get in, he say, hold on. Let me open the door for you. He opens the door for you. You get in. Then he says, Ash, what do you want to listen to? So he's doing all the things.
Okay.
Boom, he put on your nice little playlist.
Okay.
Y'all having a cool conversation, vibe, and y'all get there.
Okay.
Right? And then y'all sit down at the table outside Miami, say South Beach, maybe Pura Vida. Very casual, very look, he's getting.
No, I'm just interested that the Pura Vida was like the first thing that came to your mind.
Yeah, because it's casual. It's just like we're catching up, right?
Got
you
it.
don't need to go to Poppy Steak or Milo's or anything like Carbone. We don't need to do that. Okay, so now y'all sitting at the table, okay? Then he leans in like this and he grabs your hand. And then this tickling feeling
Really
just
painting
goes
the picture.
through, radiates through your body. And then you look at him like, oh, snap. Could it be that he's ready? Like, you know that one feeling when somebody look you in your eyes and it's like, there it is. Do you then give him a chance?
No.
He's mature now. He's older.
That's fantastic for the next girl.
You got with him when he wasn't ready. He was too young.
I wish the next girl the best of luck with you, beloved.
I don't believe it.
I wish the next girl the best of luck with you. It's if you need advice, if you need guidance, give me a call. I can give you a woman's perspective, but it ain't gonna be me, homeboy.
All right, let me add another
It ain't gonna be
element to this
me.
thing. Let me add another element to this thing. This same guy, moms liked him, pops liked him. And then now you come home like, Dad, Mom, let me tell you what happened today. Bang, bang, bang said he was interested again. He's tripping. You know, I don't circle back. Mom, let me act like Ashley. I don't circle back. I don't, what y'all say, go around the block, spin the block. You know, I ain't doing that. And Mom look at you and she say, baby, I think he's ready. And then Pop say, I'll sign off. You know, Pop, I'll sign off. Then what?
My mom's also a Capricorn, and she would look at me and say, "Are you dumb or are you stupid?"
Damn.
Like, we ain't do this before. You ain't learned your lesson the first time.
Burying it. Yeah.
Where we at with this show?
Wouldn't be me. Wouldn't be me.
We gotta.
You brought up Asante and everybody.
It wouldn't be me.
Get off on this
That's too
10-minute
funny.
rant. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
Ashley, I disagree. You're soft.
I'm
You're really sensitive and soft.
I'm super sensitive and soft when I feel comfortable with someone to let my guard down and be in that space. But because I'm not like that normally, if I allow myself to be like that with you and you take advantage of it by doing something that I find disrespectful or something that tarnishes our relationship, you never get that version of me again. Right. It's not like we can't be cool, but I will never be that just vulnerable with you again because now I don't trust you.
So you have a forgiveness problem.
I don't have a forgiveness problem. I can forgive someone, but I'll never trust you the same. Like, it's just not my relationship with you, my trust with you, the way that I view you is forever tarnished. Like, it's not like I hate you, but I can never let my guard down with you like that again.
But isn't that like
I forgive you. People make mistakes, but I also protect my own energy, and I know that it's not safe to venture into that space with you again. That's all.
Okay. Well, maybe we save this for the I Am Athlete show and that paper route.
Okay.
Get back to sports right now.
Right. All right, moving on. So we got a tweet from Legion Hoops. So this was actually a pretty interesting tweet too. Kevin Garnett, right, proposed All-Star Weekend rap tournament to Adam Silver.
Oh my God.
Said the 10 best NBA rappers should compete for $1 million prize. Are either of y'all in on KG's proposal?
I'm out, Ashley. Go to Swiss and Timberland.
I'm so out. It's not even funny. Like,
this ain't versus.
Right. With NBA
I would actually
players.
pitch this to Swiss. Well, that's versus.
No.
Yeah, this is an extension of versus, not the NBA. I'm out on this.
I'm so out.
I think we all know who would win that $1 million anyway, right?
What you got?
When we agree that Dame Lillard would probably win that. Have you ever listened to Dame Lillard's music?
Oh yeah.
Probably Dame. But can Dame freestyle like that though? No, he can rap, but can he freestyle?
Oh,
Dame?
Was this a freestyle?
JP, you put together JP or one of the producers that's out in LA. You put together Dame's top 5.
No, those are his songs.
Freestyles.
Like
freestyle.
No, a freestyle.
So when you read this, you assumed this would be a freestyle.
I'm talking like a battle rap freestyle is like you haven't written it down. It's off the dome, not you performing a track. It's different. Like not everybody can like 8 Mile it and get up there and just like. That's different than going out there and reciting a rap that you recorded.
I can go off the dome.
Okay, go off the dome.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna go off the dome. After the show, I'm about to go home. KD, you said you tall, but but I'm bigger than Rome. Ooh, bars.
Okay.
Yo, you heard what I said?
Okay.
Hold
Okay.
on.
I thought you was going to get weird at the end, though.
KD. No. Ooh,
Nah,
ooh,
you said after
hold
this
on,
show,
hold on.
I'm about to
Watch
go
it.
home, man.
I'm about to go off the dome. You talk about ball. Jimmy Butler sent Giannis home. Y'all, that's the moment where y'all was like, oh, look at yeah.
Yo, that was funny.
KD, you think you big? Shaq, you think you big? Nah, Big B bigger than Rome. Corey, go. Corey, it's
all right,
on you.
moving on.
No, go off the
dome. Nah, I ain't gonna do that to
Let
myself.
me get a bar. Let me get a bar, Ashley. Let me get a bar
Baby
before you go
bars?
to
Yeah.
Philly. When you go to Philly, Ashley, don't be silly. Keep your eyes open because they like to get willy.
Oh man.
Corey, go.
I'm saying, are we ready to move on yet? Are we ready to move on
Don't you
yet?
need to go now?
Oh my God.
Bye, Ashley.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, she's done. She's done.
Ashley's about to go.
We got one more
All right,
tweet.
go.
We can get through this one real fast.
One more before we let her go?
Yeah, we got one more tweet.
Okay.
All right, so look, June 11th, Floyd Mayweather will fight John Gotti III. And yes,
What?
that name is as familiar as you're thinking. He is the grandson of infamous mob boss John Gotti. He's actually a MMA fighter right now. He has a 5-1 record and actually has a professional boxing record of 2-0. But again, this is an exhibition match, so it really won't count to either of the fighters' records. Brandon, are you a fan of these exhibition matches?
I am a fan. I'm about people being entrepreneurs and finding a way, being creative. And Floyd has found a way to extend not only his career, but his career earnings. And that's the most important part. Like, I think his last fight, he made $120 million, and he became the #1 grossing athlete, right? Like, when it comes to revenue, like, that's unbelievable. Passing, I believe, MJ. That's off his last exhibition. He's making more money on these fights than he did in his actual career. So I'm a fan of this. What I'm not a fan of, though, is the opponent. Like, I like the Paul brothers, like, you know, those type of guys. Why don't you go fight Jake? You ran through Logan. I want to see Floyd and Jake. That's what I want to see, Ashley. I'm not interested in seeing this MMA fighter, John Gotti's nephew, Junior. What's his name?
His grandson, yeah.
No
John Gotti
disrespect.
III.
No disrespect.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
better
want
say
any
no.
beef,
You better say. You better make sure you reiterate that.
Right.
Say it a few
wrong-
times.
Right,
Wrong
but
crowd you
can
messing
I
with
get
there.
Jake and Floyd? I got your hat. Let's see it. Make the
Right.
fight happen. Why isn't anybody out there making this fight happen? Wouldn't you want to see it, Ashley? Would you not be there ringside?
I'd definitely be intrigued by that.
Right, that'd be dope. That'd probably be the #1 pay-per-view event of the year, especially in sports. I want to see that. Make that happen.
They might
Corey.
actually be trying to knock each other
Make
out.
that
for real.
happen, Corey.
Yeah, hey, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. But all right, that's it for Word on the Tweet. Now we're gonna transition to the Daily Route.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah, that was your cue.
Like, this is a great opportunity to let Ashley go. Beat it.
Bye, guys. Okay, dang.
Travel safe. Hey, when you go to Philly, don't act
Willie.
silly.
Oh, silly. Sorry.
Because you got to keep your eyes open because everybody acting willy. Travel safe.
Oh man.
I'm going to have that stuck in my head now for a lot longer than I want to. Thank you, Brandon.
All right, what we got, Corey?
All right, so no, this is what we got. I mean, yesterday was actually a pretty eventful day for you, right? Aaron Rodgers spoke for the first time at his press conference, at his introductory press conference in Florham Park, right? I remember the name of the city at the facility, at the Jets facilities. He was there with, I believe, the owner and the head coach. But yeah, Brandon, just talk to us about that experience.
Well, I mean, there's a few things that popped out before we even, sat down with Aaron after the presser. The presser was interesting to me. There was a question that came up about the timeline and the events, and Brian Gutekunst, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, coming out saying, well, I would have liked to have had a conversation with him. Aaron, what is your thoughts on Brian Gutekunst's comments? And Aaron, he really started peeling back the curtain and trying to go deep. And the Jets really tried to create an environment where it's like, yo, let's let Aaron go deep, right? Because he's willing to say whatever he feels is right, correct, whatever he thinks he needs to correct. And he's like, look, I didn't have cell service at my house, but you can FaceTime me. And anybody knows me know that you have to FaceTime me. I guess it's because of the internet thing. I'm not sure. But the biggest takeaway was like, yo, this is a dude that isn't diplomatic. This is a dude that isn't going to give us the politically correct answer. And that's refreshing, excuse me. Why? Because a lot of athletes will go out there and we'll say what we're supposed to say, right? Or we're not going to rock the boat. And so the Jets did a really good job of just like controlling the environment. They only let like probably 7 or 8 people ask a question. It was a quick press conference. It was probably open for like 15, 20 minutes. OBJ's press conference, and this is from Josina Anderson, who was sitting next to me. She was like, OBJ's press conference was 45, 50 minutes. So yeah, OBJ being introduced with the Baltimore Ravens, and then you have Aaron Rodgers introduced for the Jets, and which is probably the biggest story outside of Lamar Jackson in football all offseason, and the Jets controlled that, right? And I think it's because this is a guy that really could sit there for an hour and talk about, you know, the Green Bay Packers, Brian Gutekunst, his experience there. There's some real disdain between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I like how both are approaching it right now. Aaron Rodgers comes out and says, hey, this isn't the end for us. I'll see you again. I love you guys. And then also you had I think his name is Ted Thompson or whatever his name is, the guy who runs the Green Bay Packers. He came out and said, look, when you're ready to retire your jerseys, we'll be here. We're going to retire it at 12. So I love how they're doing that. But it's just sad how things end with some of these players, some of us players in organizations. Like, why can't it be respectful? You know, is there not a better way? You know, I was talking to a few guys in Vegas recently about like their stints in certain organizations, and guys got real bad taste in their mouth. So that was pretty cool. And then sitting down with him, the word authenticity came up, and I found that refreshing as well. Like, this is a guy that got it. He's doing it the right way. I think we live in a world today where people want real. We don't want the cookie cutter answers. We don't want the diplomatic or the politically correct answer. We want to see, you know, our athletes, our artists, or even the people we follow on, you know, TikTok and Instagram being real. There's a reason why the overproduced or the produced spots on social platforms don't perform as well as just someone taking out their camera and speaking right into it and just showing them who they really are. So that was the thing that popped out to me, Corey. Mm-hmm. You can ask me any question, but it was refreshing to see an athlete in one of their biggest moments, transitions, just keep it real. Yeah. That's what it was.
No, that's great. That's great. And you were actually fortunate enough to have actually like a one-on-one interview with him, his first as a Jet, right?
That's right.
Yeah. No, so I mean, if you haven't gotten a chance to take a look at it, we have a clip for you. We want to take a look at it right now.
But I really trust in the universal signs and synchronicities. And when they're all pointing and speaking in a certain direction, I just have to trust that this is the path I'm supposed to be on. And from the moment I got out of the darkness, this was the signs and synchronicities that were happening in my life, was that this opportunity was going to be something really special. And that I was going to have a super growth opportunity for me personally, the opportunity to impact the people in my life, in my direct circle, the new friends I'm going to make in this fan base, and to be a part of something really special. So I just have to trust what I'm seeing around me, that this is where I'm supposed to be.
Well, listen, what they want us to say as athletes is, yeah, I'm here for the next 5 years. I'm in my career here. They want us to go out there and give predictions that we're going to win a Super Bowl, we're going to do these things. But the reality, and this is a conversation around mental health, is you can only control what you can control. And that's what you should focus on, right? He can't focus on what happens next year or 2 years from now. We got to be mindful and live in the moment, right? Like, the reality is he is 40. He's turning 40 in a month or so. He might take a big hit and may make him rethink, you know, what he wants to do for the next few years or what he wants to do with his football career. You know, the Jets could stink, right? And it could be the worst experience in the world, right? And things could change. And so now you fast forward, you know, to next year, and then you look up and now you're like, oh, I'm actually doing the opposite of what I said. So I think there's a lot that we can learn from, this clip and also Aaron Rodgers. And people may make fun of me here. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan as a person now. I was one that was hard on him a few years ago, just around football and some of his, his approach. But when you really sit down with him, there's a lot of takeaways and there's a lot to learn, right? The thing that I would share with you guys through Aaron is being mindful, being present, control what you can control. Anything outside of that, that's where stress is. That's where, depression can be. That's where, hectic, day-to-day lifestyles could start to formalize. So I may be going a little too deep here, but I wish I had more time with A-Rod. I wish I had an hour to really sit down and dive deep into some of his approaches, his thought process around ayahuasca, the darkness retreat, and some of the other things that he does, right? Like, I think he's into psychedelics. I'm not a big fan of drugs. I think you can get a lot of things off of life, but there's a lot that you can learn from Aaron Rodgers and people like him.
Yeah. Well, what was the moment that stood out to me was when you guys kind of just spoke about purpose, right? And you brought up your story, right, of when, and it was following the season where you had about 1,500 yards and you were working out and training, and you just, you broke out into tears because you kind of lost what that purpose was, after many years in the league. And Aaron spoke on that too. And we actually have a clip of that portion of their conversation.
Before you go there, I want to share this, right?
Yeah,
I'm actually in that same space right now.
Yeah.
Where, let me see, we are 3 days away from May. May is the month that we celebrate mental health awareness, right? So it's Mental Health Awareness Month, all right? And so that's why I really appreciated Aaron in his time, and I wanted more time because there was so much that we could have talked about. And the clip that you're talking about was, and you're going to throw it here, is a moment that I had back in 2015. I'm actually in that same space. Why? Because House of Athlete, we have two brands here, two companies. You have House of Athlete, you have I Am Athlete. House of Athlete is a lifestyle wellness brand. That's my life's work. That's what I'm super passionate about. I Am Athlete is a skill, it's a tool, it's a conversation, but it's not something I want to do, all the time. So right now in this phase of our business, 90 to 95% of my time goes towards building I Am Athlete because it's a machine and it's almost still like in its infancy stages, or it's going into its toddler stages. House of Athlete, been working on House of Athlete since 2012. We have a whole team, we have a machine. I barely touch that, right? I check in once a week. I Am Athlete needs my touch every single day, and we're finally morphing and evolving, getting to a space where now we can start passing things off. So now more resources, you can build out your team, you can do more things. But as of right now, all my time is going here. So I'm actually in that same space that I was in, Corey, back in 2015. And this is the clip I think that you're about to show, right?
Yeah. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's got to be something that you're passionate about, that you love, that you enjoy, and that you feel like you're making a difference. And that gives you that the perspective to keep doing what you're doing. And I think it's an important spot for all of us. I think people who are trying to better themselves and to really care about making the world a better place sometimes can look at football and go, what am I doing?
Right.
Am I wasting time? Where I could be doing something else. But the fact is that I've found is you can really make a difference here. You can make a difference in somebody's life, who can then make a difference in somebody else's life, and the web that can stretch out. You can inspire people. You entertain people. I mean, there's something beautiful about being able to be a change up in a rough week for someone to come and relax and watch a game or have a couple beers or whatever it is, to just be for a few hours and to be entertained.
Yeah, he knows something, Corey.
Absolutely.
I don't know what your thoughts is, where you want to go with this conversation, but Aaron Rodgers knows something. Like Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot of chaos around him. There's a lot of conflict around him, but he seems to be in the center of it at peace, right? And I think that's probably an illustration for a lot of us, right? Like, we can't control what happens with our family and our friends and, the global economy, global pandemic, all these things, but we can control where we sit in it. And Aaron Rodgers, I think he's on to something, right? he never wavers. He's not responding to BS and all this other stuff. Like even now, like for example, like Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens, every day he's tweeting or Instagramming something about me, right? My integrity, my this, my that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the reality is there's so many other factors that goes into something as simple as when are we going to race, right? And so there's a battle like every single day with me, and I'm sorry to make this about me, and people may not follow where I'm at right now, but I'm using it as an example. So every day there's a battle where I'm like, yo, do I respond? How do I respond? I want to retaliate. I want to say this. I want to defend myself, blah, 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 blah. But I'm choosing to sit over here and just be still. But it's a battle. Like I want to say some things, right? I want to go out there and create content. I want to repost some things, blah, 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 blah. But I think that's where, you kind of lose yourself. And I see Aaron in situations like this where he's just still and he's just calm. I'm in Hawaii, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Honolulu on the beach. I'm surfing. I'm playing my guitar. Y'all talking about all these other things. I'm over here. Those are champagne problems. I'm over here chilling. Or I'm at my house in Malibu. What y'all on? I'm over here in this darkness retreat. I'm doing ayahuasca. So, Corey, there's a lot to learn from Aaron Rodgers. I would love, and let's clip this and let's put it out there because it's hard to get Aaron's time. I think we need a part 2. And I think Aaron and I should go to City Winery, open it up to, a nice intimate group, maybe 150, 200 people, and we should sit for an hour, and we really should expand on this conversation. Aaron Rodgers, open invitation. Please accept it at the right time. But I would like to get it done in 2023. Blessings.
No, I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, and I think I'm becoming even more of an Aaron Rodgers fan really just in like these last few months, right? Because what I learned from that interview is that he definitely sees the bigger picture and understands the bigger picture, and he also understands what type of, where he sits in society and how important he is just to the average person. Like me and my dad was talking about this last night. Like, we went throughout our days yesterday, but we were really looking forward to coming home and watching NBA playoffs, right?
That's right.
And it's the same deal when Aaron Rodgers is in season. People throughout their weeks are really looking forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers play on Sundays. And he also said in the interview too, right? Like he's going to do this until he has fun with it. And right now he's having fun with it. And he also in the same moment realizes his responsibility, or almost I could use the word responsibility as just the quarterback of the New York Jets and a quarterback in the NFL. Like you're really affecting other people, and he realizes that that's his purpose. So, it was a very impactful, even though it was 10 minutes.
Right.
And of course we still want that part too, because I couldn't get enough of that 10-minute interview. But no, Aaron Rodgers, all respect to you, man. And I'm a Dolphins fan. I mean, you see how I love Miami sports and whatnot, but yeah,
it's a wrap for y'all.
Yeah, he said it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
But I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers though. I'm rooting for him. And remember, I don't know if you remember, we still got a bet. I still think he's gonna have his best statistical year this year.
We made a bet.
We did. You don't even remember
against
that.
You?
Yeah, I said Aaron Rodgers is gonna have his best statistical year in his career this year. That's what I said.
And I disagreed with you.
Yep, you disagreed with it.
You sure that was me?
I promise. Because I named all the players he had. Remember Garrett Wilson, the tight ends. Yeah, you forget this. See, I'm on your side, Aaron Rod. Hey, Rod,
yeah,
I'm on your side.
But let's talk about it before we move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because clearly you forgot about it.
And I can make this up in my head right now. I don't know if I believe it or not. I'm just going to tell a story. I'll take the opposite side and say he won't, because he doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. In Green Bay, he had to.
Yeah.
They didn't have a top 5 defense. They didn't have Robert Saleh, who I wouldn't call him a defensive genius or a defensive guru, but there's something special about Robert Saleh. Like he has a defensive philosophy that works. It's not that sophisticated. He has players, but what he does is he knows how to get the best out of all of his guys, get everything out of them, right? Mm-hmm. So you have that. Aaron Rodgers didn't have that, and that's a big deal when you have a defense that can go out there, get stops, turn the ball over, bend but don't break. He has a running game. You got Hall that's coming back. You're 40 years of age, getting older, and he talked about this in his press conference. Like, look, I'm getting older. I want to be in a situation where I can win. which means you don't have to do it all yourself, right? And this is one of the reasons why he chose to go to the New York Jets. So Aaron Rodgers, to me, Corey, he doesn't have to drop back 40 times a game. He doesn't have to throw, 30 touchdowns. He's going to protect the ball. Last year was tough for him. He turned the ball over more than he usually did. But Aaron Rodgers is a dog. I think that they're going to play complementary football. The defense is going to win some games. Offensively, they're going to win some games. But I don't think it's going to be through Aaron Rodgers lighting up the NFL. I don't. Right. How did you like that take?
I liked it. I got 2 points I want to make, though.
Okay.
You made the point that they're going to have a legitimate defense, right?
Yep.
So what I'm thinking is if they're going to have a legitimate defense, that just means more possessions for the offense. And considering that they have a good defense, normally when you have a defense, you're going to really want to control the time of possession. So you're going to keep those, keep the ball, long sustained drives, limited in the amount of possessions that both teams get. I think you're going to see a lot of possessions. And I think the strength of their offense is going to be their pass game. I wouldn't say it's necessarily going to be their run game.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I think it's going to be more balanced than he's used to. I mean, if they're smart, if they're wise, why not? Why not? Why not lean on your young running back, right? Why not play into your defense and your team's strength? So, you can say on the offensive side, the wide receivers in the passing game is their strength. But if you look at it, you look at them as a team, their defense is their strength. Let's not get it twisted. A-Rod is there. We're going to celebrate him. But that defense is legendary, right? They have an opportunity, if they stay together, do some really special things over the next few years to come. I mean, Sauce Gardner's a monster, man. That whole side of the field is locked down, right? And then that defensive front, it even makes it easier for those elite defenders in the back end, right? So like that front seven, they get after the quarterback in the pass game, and they can stop the run. So if I'm the coach of this team, and I have this type of setup, this type of roster, what I'm doing is I am leaning on the run game. I'm taking my shots, got my play action, and I'm just playing like methodical, very strategic ball, right? Because I know that defense over there, I think they only gave up, they're like maybe averaging less than 20 for sure points a game they were giving up. But they were elite in that category. So there's not going to be too many people scoring points. We'll see. It's going to be a fun season. But your Dolphins, though, bro, your Dolphins, I can't even say that. Let me not just go out there and just say anything wild. But this is going to be a fun division, right? Because, the Dolphins are really good. You saw what they did this year. They went and got Jalen Ramsey. I think he's going to have a bounce-back year. I think he's going to have an elite year. And you got Xavier on the other side. You still have the draft. The draft starts tonight. 8 p.m., right? So you'll see what they do in the opening ceremony, in the opening night. And then their offense is going to be better. That was year one. Yeah. Now there's a caveat to that, because now the NFL and everybody around the league knows what they do. A lot of times you'll see this. A player comes out, have a breakout year. Then the following year, it's not as great. Why? Because we know your moves. We know what you do. We know your tendencies. We got it. And it's the same thing when it comes to coaching, right? Oh, McDaniels, we know what you do on third down. Here's the blueprint. 70% of the time you do this. You get to the fringe area. What's the fringe area? You pass the 50-yard line. You get to the 40. That is the fringe. It's fringe red zone. We know what you do 67% of the time. And then you get into the red, and you get into the tight red. You have these coaches and scouts. That's what they do. That's why they're there until 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Sometimes they even stay in the facility, because they're not just watching film and saying, oh, look at this wide receiver. He does this. He runs slants. He runs outs. They're literally like mad scientists in there. They give us a packet every single Wednesday, and you can look at every single situation that you can be in. First down, second and long, second and medium, second and short, third down, third and short, third down in the red zone, third down in the fringe area, third down backed up. And we're literally looking at statistics. So these smart guys like the Ryan Fitzpatricks of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, the Drew Brees of the world, this is why they're still able to play at a high level when they get older, because the game is so slow. They'll come out there, let's say it's first down. It's first down there on the 20 and in the first quarter, right? All right, personnel group come out, 11 personnel. We got 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. All right, now they match it. They go nickel. So now you know statistically that when we're in 11 and they come out and they match us with nickel, that 80% of the time they're going to go cover 1, right? So now the quarterback goes out there and say, I already know where I'm going with the ball. I got trips right, Z-zing. We're going to bring the Z in motion, and I'm going to go all go special with X on the comeback. But I got a dog on the backside, X side, short side, one-on-one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at him and say, yo, Stephon Diggs, or yo, Garrett Wilson, give me a go. So I'm going to give him a hand signal, or I might just give him a wink. Boom, this is what we talked about. And they're making up these, they're making these decisions in less than 5-10 seconds. And that's what makes these quarterbacks special. Man, I can't wait for football season.
I cannot wait. I know you get me excited just talking about it.
Yeah, like that's some deep ball stuff right there. Like that was like reminiscent of like.
And I was visualizing it in my head, like how that looks on the field too.
Right, bro. Like you know this, because now what's happening on that trips right Z-zing. Now what you got that cornerback's gonna come in. That safety now has to play here. There's nothing backside.
Yeah, right.
So now a really good quarterback, what he's going to do, he's going to drop back, manipulate the defense, and manipulate the defenders. I'm going to look what? To the right. Get everybody to go here, and then I got this one-on-one matchup here. Yeah. Right? But then what happens is it's like, all right, now they're playing games. Now the safety might say, I know you got Stephon Diggs backside. I see, the Hopkins backside. So I don't give a damn who's on the front side. They're going to have to beat us. So now I'm going to stay over here, and I'm going to cheat over here. Yeah. And that's the games that you play. Yep. So I said all that because I think that's interesting. A lot of times, I have family and friends. It's like, what do y'all do all day? You just go in there, lift weights, and you run. It's like, no, you spend more time in the classroom. In the really good teams, and this is why the New England the Patriots were so successful for so long, because Bill Belichick. And that's why I hate this debate. Bill Belichick, he's nothing without Tom Brady. Bro, there's no other team that's more prepared, it's still to this day, than the New England Patriots, right? Like Bill Belichick and those type of coaches are the ones that's coming in and is really breaking down tendencies and really breaking down film. I never forget playing against the New England Patriots. They knew, depending on what side of the ball I was on and what foot I had up and where I put my arm, what route I was running and what we were doing on the offensive side. And I literally couldn't get off the ball. I always tell that story. Logan Ryan made me look like a clown. This was that all-pro year that we was talking about earlier. So a lot of people don't understand what goes into a day just in the National Football League. But it's a lot of board work. There's a lot of classroom work. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but even like Stroud, that's why this is a big deal. I reached out to a few general managers and head coaches and asked them about Stroud. I know you have that coming up later. Yeah, it's coming up. But it's like, why does that matter? Like a guy testing so poorly, right? I'll save my thoughts, Corey, and we can dive into it later. But you can't be a slow blinker. Nope. What a slow blinker is, you can't make the same mistakes 2 or 3 times in the NFL. Hell, not even in high school, you can't do that. That's the difference between winning or losing. We got to go out there. We make our mistake. Let's go in, watch the film, get on the board, get in the classroom, correct it, and be better the next time. Yep. But you can't miss this hot read, 2-3 times. You can't do it. It's a $1 billion industry. You got multi-million-dollar athletes. The same scenario. We're 11 personnel. We go trips right. We go Z-zing. They're in nickel personnel. Now on backside, if this Will backer comes, this wide receiver now has to break off his route. You got to be able to
sight adjust.
You got to be able to sight adjust, but you also got to be able to identify this stuff we're talking about 10 seconds.
Yep. Yeah.
15 seconds. Yep. So that's why that stuff matters, man. Like you can't be a slow blinker at this level. But I also know, like he said, he's right. He's not a test taker. Sometimes these tests ain't for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yep. All right, but no, we're actually going to move into the draft, right? It's draft day. Draft day is finally here, and we have our last 2 divisions that we're going to break down. So actually, let's just hop right into it. We got the NFC East first, and we're going to start with the Cowboys, right? So right now, the Cowboys, which has been actually a big topic, running back is at the top of their board. tight end, and O-lineman, what you think the Dallas Cowboys should be prioritizing?
Yeah, today I wanted to approach this a little differently, Corey. And obviously, for everyone that's living under a rock right now, the draft is tonight. I think it starts at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
It's in Kansas City right now. They transformed that entire city. It's pretty cool to see. The Kelseys are taking over. But that draft is tonight. This is going to be a big night. I went the last couple days kind of given with, approaching this segment, in a way that everybody else was like, this is what they need. But I'm going to go off of like just what I feel, right? Like watching a team. Yeah. So the Cowboys are the first team.
Yeah.
What do you feel when you watch the Dallas Cowboys? What are they missing? They're missing like some juice on the offensive side. They're too methodical.
Yeah.
Like like the Dallas Cowboys, we're talking about the star on the side of their helmet. We're talking about America's team defensively. Like there's a lot of juice over there with Diggs and Parsons, right?
Yeah, right.
Offensively, and I like CeeDee Lamb. Go get somebody on that side, whether it's a running back that brings you some juice, whether it's a receiver that gives you some juice, tight end. Like, you need some juice.
Yeah.
I need some flair. I need some personality on the offensive side. It's too methodical. I need more swagger. And if they do that, I don't need Dak to do anything different. Dak, just stay in the pocket. You're the quarterback. Deliver where you're supposed to deliver. But I need somebody that can be that rabbit. We call it the rabbit. Like Jay Cutler used to always say, like, Brandon, you make everything go. And we're talking about in practice. Like, you got to go. Like, you're the juice. Like, we're doing sprints. You need to be first every single time. When you're in practice, I used to call it crescendoing, right? Crescendo, I'll start off at the beginning of practice, crescendo. And about time we hit 7-on-7, 1-on-1, I was like, crescendo, I'm yelling, I'm screaming. I'm getting everybody going on the practice field. OBJ's like that. Stephon Diggs like that. Who's the juice on the offensive side? They may have a guy. They might already have that guy that we don't know about. I don't know if it was Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not sure. But you need some juice. So that's what I do if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. That goes a long way in the huddle, and it goes a long way in the locker room.
No doubt. All right, second team. I believe we have the Giants, right? So right now they're looking at wide receivers, linebackers, and corners. How you feeling there?
Well, the first thing they need to do here is they need to take care of Saquon Barkley. Like, Saquon Barkley makes everything go. Saquon Barkley makes up for almost half of your offensive production. Nothing goes without Saquon Barkley. Let's be real here. I don't care what you do in the draft. I don't care what you've done in free agency. You have to take care of Saquon Barkley. He's also the guy that gives you that juice, but he gives you the juice in a different way. He's not a Stephon Diggs. He's not an OBJ that's screaming. He gives you some of that, but he gives you consistency. He gives you leadership. He gives he sets the example of what work ethic looks like, right? He's the guy that goes to the guy and calls that guy out. I care if you 6'5", 300 pounds. If you don't have your shit together today, go inside. That's Saquon Barkley. And sometimes they don't understand the value of that. They don't understand the value of like a Saquon Barkley in the locker room, in the community. You have to pay for that, right? Like, we should look at that. We should put together like a statistical category on that, right? Like, you have, okay, how many yards did you have per carry? How many yards did you average a year? How many receptions, broken tackles, yak, all of those things, rack, all of those things. Can we also put a little meter together that we can add some value to when it comes to, the energy that they bring a team, or when your star player head isn't where it needs to be, they go to that person, get them back on track, because it's 9 times out of 10, it's not the head coach or a general manager. It's usually your peer. It's usually your brother. It's usually your teammate that comes to you like, yo, dog, everything okay. And the really good ones know when to push and when to pull. Like, Saquon Barkley knows when to go to a guy and say, you don't got your shit together, man. You need to go back inside. Or, like, bro, like, come to the crib. Like, sit down with me for dinner, right? So, like, to me, that's worth $3-4 million in itself, right? Because now you got a guy that can bring out everything and everybody else and make everyone else better. Right, so that investment you made in all those, the Danny Dimes, like, come on, let's be real. You invested in Danny Dimes, but you don't want to invest in Saquon? I get it, quarterback, running back position. I get longevity. I understand all of that. But he made Danny Dimes better. Danny Dimes didn't make Saquon better. So the first thing I'm doing here, the first order of business is getting Saquon right. And then I will also continue to invest in that offensive line. Like I need Danny Dimes standing upright. I want Saquon Barkley feeling good. I want those holes to be bigger. That's what I'm doing. I'm going offensive line there.
Yep. All right, next we got the Eagles, right? So right now they're looking at D linemen, safeties, and running backs.
Okay.
What are you thinking there?
Eagles. Man, where's the void? Maybe get some depth on the offensive line, defensive line. I think the Eagles are in a position right now in the way their offense is built to really just take the best person on the board, right? Like they got depth pretty much at every position. They're coming off of a Super Bowl. They just got their quarterback back. They're young. They got their receivers in place. Like, if I'm them, I'm just going Corey with the best person on the board, the best person available. Best person available. Any position.
Yeah, and they pick at 30, obviously, because they were defending NFC champions. But, all right, next team. We have the Commanders, last team in the NFC East. Right now on their board, offensive linemen, corners, and linebackers.
Who did they get for quarterback? Do we know they didn't make a splash? Why is the quarterback here?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, but they did say that they're confident
Who did they get?
They're confident with their quarterback.
Who's their quarterback?
Sam Howell, right?
Heineke and Howell.
Yeah, Sam.
No,
Howell.
Heineke, I think.
No, Heineke's on the. I believe he's on the Jaguars now.
I think they need a quarterback. Who's Sam Howell?
Sam Howell. Yeah, he was. I think he came out of North Carolina a couple years ago. But
you got to go quarterback. I mean, what are we talking about here? That's not on their board?
When do they pick? They don't pick until 16, so, that's and his name will come up a little bit later, but I think, he might not go that early.
Man, they get him quarterback.
But, yeah, they
got to go quarterback.
Yeah,
and they also, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, Corey, but they're not picking up Chase Young's fifth-year option, which is interesting, right? Because you can do things like this, like, we're not going to invest in this position or that position because we have a crazy defense. Now he's coming off patella or some type of knee injuries back-to-back years. So, like, I can understand why, but, I have faith in Chase coming back stronger than ever, and he's a dog. So that might be a huge mistake that come back and bite him a year or two from now.
Well, a question on that, is that something that, like, as a player, you kind of take personally? And you're like,
hell yeah.
Yeah, you like, I might be looking for another team come next season.
Well, this, Corey, you tell me. Answer the question. You play ball at a high level.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you ain't make it to the league, but how would you feel if they tried you like that?
My fifth option revoked, my fifth-year option revoked. But like I said, I don't know. Is that a thing that players take personal? I would from the outside looking in. I'm like, well, all right, you don't think I'm worthy enough? I won Defensive Rookie of the Year my rookie year.
I like how Corey detaches himself as like a competitive athlete, right? Like he's like, which is good because a lot of guys can't transition. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys don't know how to move on. Yeah. Like Corey's totally like, I don't know. Like I'm asking you as an athlete. You as an athlete, I say that, and Ashley, she laughed at us when we talked about it, but people don't know. Like, bro was like that coming out of high school.
No, fact.
That's a big deal. And also playing at Notre Dame. You know how many people get an offer to go to Notre Dame or all the other schools? That's how he answered it, Woo. This man said, I said, well, who offered you? He's like, well, the better question is who didn't. Like, it's easier to say that. Like,
hey, right.
This I know you made something.
Googleable.
Yeah. Oh, he's Googleable?
Yeah. You
Let's Google Corey. Come here. Let me see.
You can't Google him.
Let's see.
Pictures come up.
Y'all think y'all producer and Corey in the cut ain't like that. Corey Holmes, 2018 roster. Corey Holmes, Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Wikipedia is it Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia. Yeah, I'm up there.
All right, what's the next question? Why I Google you, bro?
Well, now you got the next. You got the NFC West to break down.
You went to the CFL?
Nah, yeah. So they kind of there's an old dude by the name of Corey Holmes too who was in the CFL. They might have mixed some of the
I was about to say.
Yeah, but all my pictures. If you Google Corey Holmes, all my pictures come up though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like the dreads, bruh.
Yeah. I had to chop though. Yeah,
all right, what else we got?
People don't know that. It was a dreadhead at one point. All right, NFC West, right? First team in the NFC West, we got the Cardinals. They're looking at corners, edge rushers, and wide receivers going into the draft tonight. But what do you think they should prioritize?
Kyler Murray's coming back. I go wide receiver. You lose. You're probably going to trade DeAndre Hopkins. That could potentially happen tonight. Robbie Anderson, you traded for him, and then you let him go. I'm going wide receiver. You got to get Kyler a dog out there.
Yeah.
And I like Brown. I like Hollywood, but he needs some help.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, next we got the Rams on their board: offensive linemen, corners, and edge rushers.
Rams need everything. You know, it's going to be an interesting thing. It's going to be an interesting year for the Rams. I feel like they're just going to, you know, they sold out, not in a good way. I actually love it. I love the strategy. I feel like the Jets are doing a similar thing. They're like, look, we're going to go win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years. Then anything happens after that, you know, struggling with the cap, players being traded, players being disgruntled, we'll deal with that. The Super Bowl means that much, is that valuable. So I feel like they're chilling this year. And if I'm them, I'm going to go get a player that could be, you know, a franchise player, a Hall of Fame player, whether it's a left tackle, whether it's a edge rusher. You know, shoot, you might go in the draft and get yourself a quarterback, find a way to get creative there, which they don't have a lot of assets. You have Aaron Donald, who's probably going to retire within 2 to 3 years, if not sooner. He's been flirting with that over the last couple of years. Matthew Stafford, he's been banged up the last 2 years, and he's older. So what are you going to do, right? Like, you don't have a lot there. You trade away Jalen Ramsey. It's not the Rams that we're used to seeing over the last 5-6 years.
Agreed. All right, now we got the 49ers on their board: offensive tackles, edge rushers, and wide receiver.
49ers. Man.
I know, unlike these other teams, they're actually pretty complete. So it's like, you know, what pieces
I wouldn't be mad at the 49ers taking a wide receiver, but they don't need a wide receiver, right, with this offense and how they run things there. It's the same with the 49ers. Like, you know, I think you're good on the defensive side. On the offensive side, I go get a guy that you can potentially have up front for the next 10 years or so. You have the best player in all of football, their left tackle there, but he's older. He's been around for a minute. You know, I don't know how many elite years you have left in him, but I go invest in the offensive line because you can afford to do that this year. You know, you don't need to go force some type of playmaker and productivity on the back end. You're good there, so I go offensive line.
Gotcha. All right, last but not least, we got the Seattle Seahawks. So going into tonight, they're looking at defensive linemen, linebackers, and wide receivers. What do you think they should prioritize?
Defense.
Yeah,
defense, right? Like, you brought Bobby Wagner back. Wide receiver, I still like. You got Tyler Lockett, and you have DK Metcalf there, so I'll take them off the board. I'm actually going D-line. Who is that, like, Michael Bennett? You had Cliff Averill. Remember when they were really good? Yeah. That front four was just getting after it. So if they want this to work, they need to get somebody up front that could just be elite. And I don't know if – actually, they do have a guy. I think they drafted a rookie last year that actually played really well. Go put somebody alongside of him and see what happens with this defense.
Yeah. We shall see.
The draft is tonight,
man. Draft is tonight. I know, draft is tonight. I'm actually excited.
Who's going number one overall?
Man, number one overall, I think it's going to be Bryce Young. I think he's the best player available in this draft, in my opinion. And I think he fits really well with, like, the Panthers. Like, they brought together some really good players. They got Adam Thielen now, right? I forget the other receiver that they brought in. They brought somebody else in. Like, they got the running back from Philly, Miles Sanders. They got Miles Sanders now. So, like, I think they're going to have a really dynamic offense, especially if they add somebody like Bryce Young. So I'm predicting him going number one overall.
We will see.
We shall see.
We will see.
All right, we're going to transition to Fact or Foolish. So I got Brandon with me. I'm going to give him a statement. He's going to determine whether it's fact or foolish, but he has to give his explanation why. So first one, quarterback Hendon Hooker moves into the first round tonight. Fact or foolish?
I'm going to go foolish here. Coming off, I know if he didn't get hurt, coming off the ACL, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have won Heisman. That's what I hear everybody saying. Yeah, I keep telling y'all this. Legit. I'm not the college football expert, so I really can't give you a deep analysis. I like him from what I've seen, but I don't have enough information on him. I don't see him sneaking. I say foolish here. I don't see him sneaking into the first round.
Yeah.
Because you still have, 4 quarterbacks ahead. And, you know, if you look at how the draft is shaping out, I don't think you have to force this. I don't think you have to get creative to get him.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go second round here.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, second, an all-pro.
I want him to go first round though.
Yeah. I mean,
come on, I'm for us now.
Yeah.
Get your money. go as high as we can.
He's definitely deserving.
You know what I'm saying? But you asked me a question. I'm trying to give a respectable answer with some type of analysis, some type of thought, although I don't watch college football like that.
Well, I can tell you what, he was doing his thing up until his injury, like I'm talking legit. So we'll see. Hopefully, he gets picked up by a team where, that could use him. Second, an all-pro caliber player is traded tonight. Fact or foolish?
Let me go back then.
Yeah, want to go back?
I will go fact there.
Want to go fact?
Well, can we switch that? Is it too late, Woo? It's not too late.
Nah, it's not too late.
Let's go back. That's a fact. I'm gonna go fact here because if you're a coach, like let's say you're a team, because like if I meet with him and he has the it factor, like I'll take him.
Because it was just an injury.
Yeah, like I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll give up my 16th, 17th overall pick, especially late first. I'll give it up. Like, yeah, and then you'd be like, oh, yeah, it's a project for us. We're not going to rush him back. He's hurt. But low-key, I'm like, yo, go take this guy's job. But we're good if you don't, right? Like, I can see him in New England. Why not?
Well, it's ironic that you said the 16th pick, right? Because that's the Washington Commanders. We were just talking about them not having a quarterback, right? That's who I was really referring to. I hadn't said his name yet, but, Hendon Hooker in Washington, like.
Why not?
Exactly. Why not? At least get him to compete with the guys that you feel confident in right now.
Right.
Who knows? We'll see. All right, but yeah, you saw the next one. An all-pro caliber player is traded tonight. Fact or foolish?
Fact. I think you could see 2 or 3 guys traded. You got DeAndre Hopkins out there. Who's the other big name that's floating around that wants out? But I definitely see at least 2 guys being traded tonight. There's going to be some action.
Yeah.
Teams are ready to go, man. It's like, I wouldn't say people are pressing, but there's more action. Like, it's like now. Forget, these owners aren't thinking about, not everyone. There's a couple still old school, but not like, oh, yeah, let's see what happens over the next 10, 15 years. Man, these owners are getting more competitive. No, I want to be the guy hoisting that Lombardi trophy. I want to be the guy that's, organizing a parade after we won the Super Bowl. I want our city to be the host city for the draft and combine and, the Pro Bowl and all those things. And to get that, you have to win. So I think there's going to be a lot of action tonight, Corey.
Yeah.
A lot of action.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's on some type of betting app where you can take the over and under on how much action there will be tonight.
They probably have ones where it's just like yes or no.
Okay.
A player gets traded tonight. All right, next one, Brandon. You kind of alluded to it earlier, right? C.J. Stroud, quarterback coming out of Ohio State this year, scored an 18% on the S2 cognitive test, right? To kind of put it into perspective, Bryce Young out of Alabama scored a 98%. Will Levis out of Kentucky scored a 93%. So fact or foolish, C.J. Stroud's low cognitive test score is a red flag.
We don't know. We don't have enough information. So I can't go fact or foolish, right? Because like you got to sit down with the guy and you have to really see if he's a guy that doesn't test well. There's a lot of guys out there that doesn't test well, but their football IQ is through the roof, or on the field they just have it, right? There's a lot of people like that. What I do know is it worked. Whatever he's doing, whatever he has worked for him up until this point in high school and at the highest level in college football. So why would it change in the NFL? Well, I know how it can change because there's way more thrown at you. The offenses and the defenses are more sophisticated, but making that jump from high school to college, that's a challenge. There's a lot thrown at you there as well, and he was able to do it. So, if you twist my arm and you force me to pick, I would say foolish, right? Because he's already proven himself to be the best at at whatever level he's been, high school, college. So I think he can do the same here. They're always looking for things that devalue you. He's the story. He's the guy. Every year you're going to have some type of story like this. This guy should switch positions to here. He's not a quarterback. He's a wide receiver. This guy, his score is too low. He can't do it. This guy's too short, or this guy's measurements doesn't add up. His hands are too small. Like, what?
Yeah,
Come on, man. I thought it was about football. Watch the film. What happened to just being football players? But,
I still think he goes number 2. He's going to be a Texan, though, Houston Texan.
Oof.
We will see.
Maybe he should. If I'm him, I'm happy to slide. I ain't trying to go to Houston. Take your number two pick.
Yeah.
Forget that. I want to slide. Let me go to another team. Maybe this works out. See, God always got you. You never know when God's working. This might be God saying, "Look, we gonna bomb this test."
Yeah, right.
so you don't have to go to Houston.
Right. We slide to the coast.
Right. You never know.
Yeah.
Stroud. You never know when God's working for you, man. This could be God. We know you smart. We know you a baller.
Right.
But they want to use this to, you know what I'm saying, devalue you, and then you end up in a better situation. So be it. Would you rather go number 2 overall and flame out, or not have everything you need to be successful? Now they blaming you, or would you rather fall to a situation where it's like, yo, I got everything, offensive line, I got a couple receivers, I got a nice owner, I got a nice head coach, and now you play 10, 15 years.
Hey, you gotta.
Then they do the same thing to Jalen Hurts. Remember, Jalen Hurts should switch positions.
Yeah.
What was he, a number? He went second round, or what round did he
Yeah,
win?
I think he went at the top of the second round, yeah.
Right, and then 3 years later,
Super
the dude's
Bowl.
the highest
Biggest
paid.
contracts, yeah, exactly.
Come on, man.
Might be a blessing in disguise, CJ. Who knows? All right, next one. Cowboys re-sign running back Ezekiel Elliott. Fact or foolish?
This is foolish. They didn't go back and sign Dez Bryant, right? Like, you know, Jerry, it seems like he loves you, but once he makes up his mind, it's like we're moving forward. The only way this happens is if, you know, Pollard doesn't bounce back fast enough, or he's not progressing the way they thought he should throughout the offseason. He has a lot of time, so there's no rush. But every day he's coming in there, and they're seeing where he's at and seeing if he's hitting his benchmarks on his return back to play schedule, or if they miss out in the draft, right? So, like, he's going to have to wait until probably right after the draft or right before training camp. Teams are now focused on the draft. No one's focused on any of these veteran free agents out there. You have to wait. They want to draft guys. They actually want to get other guys in through free agency, like the guys who weren't drafted, but you know, they extend an invitation to training camp and mini camp. They want to see those guys as well. Then they're going to come back and say, okay, let's see about Ezekiel Elliott, because there's some gems there as well. There's a ton of guys that, you know, that weren't drafted that made a name for themselves in the offseason and became something special. It's cheaper and the upside's greater, right? So that's what those scouts are getting paid for. That's what the owners are counting on. Go find me the gem. And that's when you make a name for yourself. It's like, how did this guy become a general manager, right? These are the things that they're doing. Like, they actually have a list. Like, I was the guy to discover James Harrison. I was the guy to discover Adam Thielen. I was the guy that went to Bill Belichick and said, you got to take Tom Brady. I stood on the table, right? That's how you make a name for yourself. So that's what's happening now. All these scouts, they've been traveling around the country, stopping in to this team and that team and watching practice, meeting with their strength and conditioning coaches and the academic advisors, and they're like, yo, this is my guy. Everybody right now is fighting for their guy. That's what's happening. Please take my guy. Please take my guy. So I say that because Ezekiel Elliott, the Jarvis Landrys of the world, some of these guys that can come in and contribute right now, it's like, why aren't these guys signed? They just have to wait a little bit longer. They have to be patient, and that's uncomfortable for them.
Yeah. All right, we got two more here. A team trades for 49ers quarterback Trey Lance before the offseason ends. Fact or foolish?
I don't see why you have to. Like, I mean, when he played, and I like Trey, it's not like he had like a Dak Prescott outing, right? Where, remember when Dak took over for Tony Romo, he was also drafted in the 4th round. He took over Tony Romo, and he was like super efficient, like threw for like 20 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 interceptions, 1. Jalen Hurts had a similar outing. Like, Trey, I don't know if anything stood out, so I would say foolish here. Yeah. I think Trey's best opportunity is to go out there and have a phenomenal offseason out there in San Fran, have a phenomenal preseason, and then that's when action can start cooking up for the 49ers and Trey, right? Like, There's 4 preseason games. They're going to throw him out there, go out there and try to ball. But I also know the 49ers will be open to Trey Lance being who they thought he was, who they think he is. They drafted him. They moved up to get him. It was a big controversial pick. So I see the 49ers still like, yo, if he goes out there, that's a great problem to have. We got 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a reality in San Fran. Good problem to have.
Yep.
All right, last one. Dalvin Cook.
Last one.
Last one. Dalvin Cook gets traded to the Miami Dolphins. Fact or foolish?
This would be good. I think this is what I mean. They're really trying. A lot of these owners is exactly what I'm saying. They're trying to make their moves. I know there's a couple owners that's going after Saquon Barkley as well. I'm saying fact here. I'm saying fact here. Like, why wouldn't you go do this? You go out there, you get Jalen, you got Tyreek. Tyreek say, I'm only going to play a couple more years, right? So how long can you stay in this pocket where you can compete at a high level? Mm-hmm. So I think the Dolphins are going to make their move. Hell, you might see something big from them tonight in the draft or tomorrow.
Yeah, we shall see. That's a wrap.
That's it? I want to see something. Maybe they have enough data. There's certainly significant difference in quarterbacks and him. I did not. I'm looking at one of the general managers and head coach. I asked, does the testing, is this really going to affect Stroud? We won't have enough data, in my opinion, maybe after 3 to 5 or 10 years. So he's saying basically no, right? Like you have to draft the guy and see what happens. Mm-hmm. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That's when we'll know. And that just says, like, sometimes you just got to bet.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the numbers don't always tell the whole story when it comes to these tests. So appreciate you guys watching Paper Route. We have Ashley Nicole Moss on her way to Philly. She cannot come back. She cannot return without an AI soundbite. She can't come back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Corey, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like Heat and 6. That's how I'm feeling.
Feeling like Heat and 6.
Heat and 6. That's how, yeah.
Buckets. All right, we'll see y'all Monday. We're off tomorrow, but we'll see you Monday at 1 o'clock. Peace.